What's up, YouTube? Sammy V here, representing Eagle Incorporated, I think. And today, we're going to be discussing a little bit more of a depressing topic. You see, the way I wanted to handle these things is I figured that there's a lot of YouTubers that put out just like this lighthearted, fun type of content. But I kind of want to be on both sides of the spectrum, because not everything in this world is just what's on my wall. We don't live in a world where there's Mortal Kombat and One Piece and Static Shock. I wish we did, but we don't. So we need to talk about the things that are more important in this day and age. We need to discuss the things that are affecting our planet, things that are affecting our economy, not just our economy, other people's economy, or other countries' economies, things of that nature. So today, for our first topic, we're going to be discussing the recent situation in Florida involving the huge red tide outbreak. Now, you see, the reason that this has been happening is because back in the 90s, they had this push with the Everglades where essentially we were killing it. Like our farmlands were producing so much nutrients that the Everglades was basically nutritioned. It was over-nutritioned, if that's a word. But the fact is that since it was over-nutritioned, that people in the government needed to find ways to regulate farming laws so that the Everglades could thrive in its normal condition, because the Everglades is an area with very low phosphorus and very low nutrient. So what they did was it kind of took a while, but they eventually kind of gave a lot of freedoms to big sugar companies to do whatever they want in the Everglades, to essentially give them the means to keep the Everglades safe. But the thing is, they're keeping the Everglades safe, but they're pouring everything from the Everglades down the Caloosahatchee into our oceans, into the Southwest Florida Gulf, not oceans. But the fact of the matter is that the Everglades is 1.5 million acres, and sugar companies own about half of that. And with that, they are basically. Let me pull up something real quick. All right. So I was doing a little bit of research on the Florida Senate's like their archives, essentially, archive.flsenate.gov, and it's I believe chapter 373 or session 373.4592 from the year 2010, and in section 1F it reads here that the legislation finds that improved water supply and hydro period management are crucial elements of the overall revitalization of the Everglades ecosystem. And essentially what that means is that they need to increase the period in which the Everglades is flooded so that it can thrive in its normal stance. But if they flood it, then they can't really grow the crops that we need. And the Everglades is home to 10% of big sugar companies' sugar. So that's why they're essentially able to do whatever they want. They're the only one out there. And then I'll skip a little bit down here. And in that same article, in section 2, under the definitions, it says that this thing called a master permit, that anyone that owns a large amount of the Everglades has access to. They basically just get this master permit that allows them, it means a single permit issued to a legally responsible entity defined by rule authorizing the construction, alteration, maintenance, or operation of multiple stormwater management systems that can be owned and operated by different persons, which provides an opportunity to achieve collective compliance with applicable department and district rules and the provisions of this section. So, like I said before, this basically gives them the right, or not the right, but it gives them the ability to make these new irrigation systems to just dump all their shit. It's basically like it's like the big business equivalent of just shoving everything under your bed when you're a kid. Like no, I don't want to clean it up. I'll just put it here for now. Like, no, that's the whole thing. That's where all of this comes from, because it's like a lazy alternative to finding a more suitable source for the water. Because it is a lot of water. Just today, or not today, every day, over 800 million gallons. I think 800 million or 80 million, one of the two, still ridiculous number per hour of this just disgusting phosphorus-filled water just getting shoved into our water. And if you don't know, phosphorus is a very common element, very, very common. I believe it's one of the like top 3 things that like is in our body, essentially, like up there with like just like the building blocks of life. But what this does, though, is it makes a lot more life just in the water, which is where the red tide comes from, the amount of phosphorus. And with this is the effects that we see now. And they just keep putting more and more of this phosphorus in. So this algae ecosystem is growing more fluently than it probably has ever thrived. And it's just killing everything. If you've seen anything on the news about what's going on down here, you've seen pictures of dead manatee, dead turtles, dead whale shark, like these enormous the biggest fish on the planet is being affected by shit like this. Like, it's not something that the animals can just like, oh, this is red tide, we can't be here, because they're animals, they're fish, they're sea turtles. They don't know this shit. They just know, like, hey, I can't breathe too well. Oh, now I'm dead. Like, and it sucks because not only is businesses affected by it, not only is the populace affected by it, but like our ecosystem. This place that we live is not habitable. It is not habitable. Like, there's people that live. Cape Coral has more canals than Venice, Italy, and this algae is just slowly but surely making its way through all of it. Like, that can't be good and not even just the animals. Like, the civilians have to live right next to it. I can only imagine how long it'll take before that happens, but it's still just ridiculous to me that it could happen. Like, something like this just is completely avoidable. And the reason that this is happening is because the reason that it's happening in such a huge kind of epidemic opposed to earlier years is because last year they like overfilled or underfilled or something like that with the Everglades. They were basically trying to regulate the level, or not the Everglades, Okeechobee. They were regulating the levels of water in Okeechobee so that they could control the draining of this water like they typically do. But then Irma came through and they like released too much water or something like that, and then they needed more water, and then they ended up just flushing it all out. And now we're stuck with what we're left with. And typically the red tide, like we're used to the red tide, but like ever since I was growing up, I always just would hear news of it. Like, oh, the red tide, like, oh, it's a red tide season. But it's not a red tide season. It's the time of the year where big business is just shoving everything into our water. And that's ridiculous. Something that I thought was a common occurrence in this world is just something made by big business. And that's outrageous. It's outrageous that a business is affecting just one business, like just sugar. Imagine how many fucking spices and vegetables or crops, just crops in general there are, and sugar is fucking up the planet, essentially. It's ridiculous to me. But here, let me go on a little bit to discuss let me go to on the US Sugar page. You can go to their website, and they have a whole bunch of articles, or they don't even have a bunch of articles. It's kind of like when you make like a PowerPoint, or like when you make your first fucking website when you're like 12, and you like just leave a paragraph here, a paragraph here. Like, oh, we do such great things for the Everglades. Over $400 million has been spent in helping the Everglades thrive, but it doesn't tell you in which way. So let me look here. Yes, it says you have to go under the Our Environment section, then to the Everglades section of their page, or of their website. And then it says here that thanks to advanced soil and management practices, water flowing off farmland is significantly cleaner than when it enters. If that's the case, then why is red tide happening? If the water that's being dumped out is cleaner, then why is there so much phosphorus in it? Like, they're just blatant lies, just put right on their website. I mean, then again, it's not just U.S. Sugar over there. I believe it's Florida Crystals. That's also the big sugar company over there. But I digress. And to their next little thing that I thought was interesting. Yeah, what I said before, but just not in quotes. The U.S. Sugar considers the Everglades a treasured state and a national asset, and works diligently to protect the unique ecosystem. Combined, Florida sugarcane farmers have invested more than $400 million in restoring and preserving the Everglades. You see, I take that with, instead of a grain of sugar, a grain of fucking salt. Because U.S. Sugar, it says U.S. Sugar considers Everglades a treasured state. Does it consider it a treasured state because that's where they make billions of dollars in sugar, or is that or is it a treasured state because it's such a great like landmark? I think it's more one than the other. And but again, I'll go to the What We Do segment, and I don't know what this has to do really with it, but I just thought it was what with the whole corruption and the water and all that, and the phosphorus being dumped in it with the red tide. But I thought it was a little weird. They have this thing that says, U.S. Sugar uses its own rail system to move its cane crop. Sugar and you can find this on the What We Do section, and other agricultural freight. It is efficient and cost-effective and helps the environment because it is less fuel than trucks and significantly reduces the amount of vehicle emission. I feel like it says, it's like, yes, it reduces vehicle emission, but I feel like that's more of because the fuel would be an expense to the company, not that the fuel is an expense on the environment in a total. And then when you go to they have a PDF file on their website for the railroads. And if this is just me, then feel free to link it in the comment section below. But I tried going on my phone, tried going on my laptop, tried going on my girl's phone, and when I click the link for the railroads, just nothing pops up. It's just a little sketchy. I mean, like I said, there's not oh yes, it's the railroads. It's just the railroads. The railroads are causing the phosphorus. But there's something kind of sketchy going on there. But oh god, this is the fun part. Talk about the real corruption behind all this. So basically, the laws that were enacted in that 2010 Congress session that I was telling you about, or Senate session, or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know. I'm not a politician. But what they discussed in there, I believe they had one in 2013 or 14 discussing the Everglades, and I think they had one in last year. But I don't believe any of them have really dealt with the same irrigation issues that were dealt with in the 2010 session that gave such liberties to these people. And also, that master permit gives them a 5-year period where they're allowed to do things. And they're not allowed to do everything with this master permit, but everything the master, they do, like I said before, they are allowed to just do what it entails. And they probably don't need to get much more permits past that. And if they do, they're such a big company, I doubt it's that big of an issue. Because I went and looked into it, and the CEO of the company, of the U.S. Sugar, is Alfonso Von Hool Jr., I believe is how you pronounce it. If the J is pronounced like an H, right? But so Alfonso Alfie Jr. is the eldest brother of the Von Jewel brother. Okay, I'm sorry. A little sidebar here, but my mother makes this dish called pasta fagioli, and it's like, or like, it's just like these little beans and like these little pasta noodles, or whatever they're called, fagioli noodles, and that's all I see when I read his name. But anyway, this man has an $8.2 billion. His net worth is $8.2 billion. He's making a lot of fucking money off this sugar. It's not just sugar. It says here that he also has like a real estate thing, but I was reading up on that, and it's like apparently his wife has some sort of control over that, or his ex-wife has some sort of control over that. So I feel like he's really banking on the sugar business, especially now. I need to look more into that, actually. I should have looked more into that with his wife and all that, because maybe that's something. Maybe like him and his wife broke up, and then he's like, oh no, I'm going to lose all my real estate money, so I have to push the sugar. I must push the sugar. But essentially, I was looking through, and companies controlled by Alfonso Fagioli, I'm calling him Fagioli. I don't care if it's pronounced different. He's Fagioli now. But or no, it's Fanjul, Fanjul, in case you want to look them up yourself. But I'll try to leave links for as much of the shit as I can in the or not the comment section, but the little section below. And so I was looking through, and according to the Miami New Times, he's been wiring a lot of money to different politicians and things of that such around the Florida. Because Florida politicians are going to be the ones that talk about Florida. Or Florida senators are going to be the ones talking about Florida and the Everglades and the issues there whenever they're in session to go talk about these things. And apparently, Miami Representative Mario Diaz-Balart has accepted over $27,000 from Big Sugar Industries. And I'll definitely not try. I'll leave a link to that in the comments or whatever. But so he and there's receipts for all these things. He's got $5,000 from American Sugar. He's got fucking $2,000 from just different people from the Fanjul family, the Snake River Sugar Company, Michigan Sugar Company, Florida Sugarcane League, and the American Sugarcane League. Like, he's just out here just gaining this cash. And it says Bill Nelson is also one of the recipients here. I'm pretty sure I've heard that name a lot around here in Florida. I'm pretty sure that man has a lot of influence down here. So it's just, like, it's crazy. Like, the people that we've elected to take care of these types of problems are the ones that are, like, I didn't know, like, oh, politicians are corrupt, what else is new? Like, no, that's not how things should be. The people in charge of our state should take care of it. There's no fucking excuse for it. We're gonna kill off this huge, like, Southwest Florida's been booming. We've been, like, growing slowly and slowly economically. We've been having this huge boom where, like, I've seen, like, a lot more people going to the beaches than usual. Like, people actually like going to our beach, even though it's shit. People because they just want to get out. People just want to do things. And that's killing it. That's killing this. Like, what are we supposed to do here in Florida? Like, what? I'm going to go to fucking Sunsplash? And if you don't know what Sunsplash is, it's like a little rinky-dink water park with, like, 3 slides. Like, I'm not going to go to Sunsplash with 50,000 8-year-olds there. Like, I want to go to the damn beach. I want to go lay in the sand. I want to not smell red tide. I just want what I should be able to have in living in Florida. What anybody else living it, like, what do you think when you think Florida? If you're not from here, you think beaches. Well, what the fuck happens when tourists come down? You're like, or the snowbirds, like all the old people. They're like, I can't wait to go to the beach. It's going to be lovely. Oh, can't you, Steven? And then, oh, I don't care, woman. But then they get to the beach, and they're like, oh, shit, the sea turtles are dead. And you're like, oh, no, it's a tragedy. And you're like, yeah. And then they don't want to come here anymore. And then they sell their fucking Florida house because they're like, oh, this place is a shithole, and they'll go somewhere else. Like, it kills everything down here. I don't even want to be here because of it. Like, and my dog's getting pretty fucking nettled, so I think this is a good place to about end it. I'll try to come out with another video later today about a more lighthearted topic. I was thinking about either the Meg review or maybe discuss a little bit more about Aquaman. just something also water related, but it's a little less serious. Oh, and just a little. I forgot to say this. I wanted to get this out. Apparently, the dude that owns the Big Sugar, the Alfonso Fanjul, his daughter is like a. I just found this on the wiki. His daughter is a marine biologist. So I can imagine how that goes. It's like some soap opera type shit where it's like Father, how could you let the phosphorus ruin the my marine environment? And he's like, I don't care. Your mom left me and took all my real estate. But so all right, that's my last goof. But again, I may be making a lot of jokes and silly voices in this, but that's just because we need a little bit of lightheartedness. We can't take this. We can't just like charge up and just tear down all of Big Sugar. Like, no, we can't be as aggressive as them. We have to approach this in a more manneristic way where, I don't even think that was a word. I think I just made that up. Manneristic, in a more manneristic way. But no, seriously, we need to do this more professionally. We need to not just throw up picket signs and fucking go walk around downtown or something. Like, there needs to be something done. I don't know what, but as soon as I figure it out, I will let you guys know. So to stay updated on this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, fucking smash that little bell icon, and I'll see you later. This is Sammy V, signing out.